It is day 9 of my indefinite duration hunger strike for a fair hearing. I took day 8 off of the hunger strike. The state's offices were closed. I figured they're not working, I won't be working. My name is Aubrey Shomo, and I am currently engaged in a hunger strike upon the state of Colorado and its executive, all the way up to the top, because I have hard evidence of a case of plea coercion and child abuse cover-up by Boulder County Mental Health. I have evidence that it was the treatment team that made the decision, not just the individual I have on the wire recording, by his claim, not mine. See my day 7 video if you want to hear it for yourself. That's just a few excerpts of what is basically 90 minutes of wire recording. And the state and the press, all the local media outlets, have been provided with this material. So if there's any challenge to be made to my veracity, every legitimate media outlet has been provided a copy. My 7 points are basically to do some science to understand why this happens and to be proactive about preventing it from happening again. Because it is my contention that it happens all over the place all the time, that the problem is systemic, that it is not just one dirty guy I got, but a culture which allows dirty guys like this to get away with anything. If I am not correct in that contention, some science ought to falsify that hypothesis, and it's perfectly reasonable to ask the government to look into an issue a whistleblower brings to their attention. I am similarly asking them to find all of the other kids that it happened to and remedy their cases. We know for sure that the other cases Mr. Shearer provided treatment in will likely, if they've seen any judicial involvement, include coerced pleas by the same means Mr. Shearer used on me, whether he threatened them with extrajudicial consequences from their families or through some other source. Mr. Shearer has an established history of using extrajudicial threats to coerce court dispositions, and so all of the other cases are intrinsically suspect, and in a democracy, we do something about that. I'm asking them to investigate the Mental Health Center and the Department of Social Services on the basis of Mr. Shearer's claim that they were involved. Mr. Shearer explicitly claims that Miss Jessica Fry was involved in the negotiation of the plea over my will, against my will, over my objections, without my consent. And he similarly says that the entire treatment team made the decision that that was appropriate based on their cultural desire to have a baseball bat or a 2x4 to use on the children, frequently abused kids in their care. Consequently, the Mental Health Center needs to be investigated. I am also asking them to find a way to get Mr. Shearer criminally prosecuted. That probably means federal charges. And I am asking them to make sure he is investigated for the fact that he poses a present, clear, and future danger of conducting the unauthorized practice of law with both his current clients and future clients, who once again, because of the nature of the system, have a risk of involvement with the judicial system. These are my first 5 points. My next 2 points are a remedy for myself, whether that has to be done through the executive or through some other means that the government can make available. They coerce the plea. It is their duty and obligation to undo what they have done. And no excuse about how they showed me mercy afterwards or how they were kind enough to seal the record overcomes their intrinsic obligation to make remedy. And lastly, my 7th point is that I am asking for an apology. Those are my points. I'm expecting a reply from Executive Counsel, Mr. Finlaw, tomorrow. I also have a meeting with a state representative from the area where Boulder County Mental Health is, in the hopes that he will see to it that these things happening in his district no longer take place and that a full investigation is seen to. With that, that's basically the update. I'm still in my indefinite duration hunger strike. I am indeed hunger striking. Only water today. And that is the intention to continue. As things start to get funky, I will again address my electrolytes and nutritional situation. I'm thinking I will probably take 1 day off every 7 as this drags on, if this has to drag on. But again, Mr. Governor, I think I've suffered enough. I'm asking you to end this here and meet my 7 demands. So with that, I will leave you with the one thing that I couldn't fit into the 5-minute recording of Mr. Shearer that I published on day 7, since I chose the sound bites specifically to get the most punch in 5 minutes. I'm going to leave you with Mr. Shearer admitting that this was done to other kids in other cases, warranting that full investigation. Day 9, peace everyone, and please contact Roxanne White and make sure the state does everything it can for everyone, not just me who was hurt. Listen to Mr. Shearer indicate there are others. Peace out, guys.
Don't you remember being on the phone with me on September the 12th, 2001, when I told you I didn't want to enter the plea, even though, I mean, you're the one who drove me to the DA. Remember, you drove me to the prosecutor twice? That wasn't me. And the first time I walked out, and the second time, you explained to me how it was in my best interest, and I think you were absolutely correct, that it was absolutely necessary that I gave in because,
Because if I did say that, which I would see that would be me, is because if I said it, it's because this was a treatment case. This was a case where, and I remember doing things like that, again, not so much with you, but with another kid. He came from Lafayette, and he got in trouble with the law only because he said some threatening things. And I think either mom didn't, someone made mom push it.